Hello everyone, a very warm welcome again to each one of you for the virtual session of science. I hope you all have enjoyed your Diwali break now, children. Time to come back to your work. And as you all know, we were doing the chapter The Living Organism and Their Surroundings. So I hope you all have maintained your notebook and you all have taken down all the important points discussed in the previous session before Diwali break. So let us continue with the chapter The Living Organisms and Their Surroundings. And please do write all the important points for the virtual sessions which we are having, children. So we have seen the characteristics of living organism. They move, they reproduce, and all the other characteristics we have seen. Let us continue with that. Let us have some quick revision on that. Living organism, how they are being called as living organism. What differentiate them from non-living things? What are the characteristics? Let us see. So living things respire, as you all know. All living organisms do respiration. That means the food which we eat is broken down into glucose and energy is given out in the cells. That is called as respiration. Reproduce, every living organism reproduce. That means they give birth to the offspring, they give birth to the young ones. That is one of the very important characteristic of the living organism, so that they will not get extinct, they continue to exist on earth. That's why reproduction. Living things, they grow. As we grow, when we are born, we are very small that time, and as the years goes, as the month goes by, we grow in size physically. Physical and mental development goes on, and that is the growth. We have seen the growth of the plants as well. So all the living organism, that is one of the characteristics, that they grow. Living things move, except plants. They will not do locomotion from one place to another, but all living things have the characteristic of movement. That means they can move from one place to another. Living things excrete waste. That means whatever we eat, whatever living organism eat, all of the food is not get absorbed as a glucose. It is not all the food which we eat will give us energy. Some part of the food goes as the waste, and that has to be eliminated from the body, and that excretion process is shown by living organism. So this is one of the important characteristics. Non-living things will not excrete, they will not reproduce, they will not move. All that characteristic will not be shown by non-living things. Then respond to stimuli. If there is any change in the environment, or anything happen physically to the living organism, or any stimuli in the environment, any interaction in the environment, any change in the environment, they will respond to it. For example, you are pricked by a safety pin or a needle, then you respond to it. There will be some action shown by you. That is the response to the stimuli. When we go close to the heat and you feel too hot, then you respond to it. You respond to the cold season. So there are various stimuli in the environment, and all living organisms respond to the stimuli, to the changes in the environment, to the changes in the surrounding. Living things takes on nutrients. So all living organisms require nutrients to survive, so that the nutrients provide energy to do work. Now you have to list down all these points. Just write down all the captions. Living things, under living things you will write point: respire, reproduce, grow, move, excrete waste, respond to stimuli, take on nutrients. So you have to make points like that in your notebook. Excretion. Now we will see the characteristics which we have learned for the living organism. We are going to have some characteristics we are going to see in detail. The first characteristic we are going to see in detail is excretion, which is very important characteristic of living things, and we have to learn in detail. Let us see what is excretion. All living things take food. Not all the food that is eaten is really used. Only a part of it is utilized by the body, as I told you. So what happened to the unused and remaining food? That becomes waste and it has to be excreted. Otherwise, it will be very toxic to the body and can lead to death. That's why excretion, cleaning of the stomach is extremely important. Our body also produces some waste like urea and in other life processes. So the urea is very harmful for the body. It has to be excreted in the form of urine or in the form of solid waste. So living organism get rid of all this waste material and the process is known as excretion. You have to take down all these points in your notebook, children. I hope you are writing and maintaining your notebook. So here just have a look on most of the living creatures over here. You can see fish. Most aquatic animals, including many fish, they give out ammonia. So that is a substance which they excrete. Different living organisms or different living creatures will excrete different chemical substances. So your fish gives out ammonia, whereas mammals, the most amphibians, sharks, some bony fish, they give out urea. And you can see the elephants as an example given over here of mammals. Then birds, insects, reptiles, land snails, they give out uric acid as the waste material, that is the excreta. So all that amino acids and nitrogenous base, they form the waste in the body and that has to be eliminated because it will be very toxic to the body. Different living creatures gives out different waste. It depends upon the food type they eat. So here you can see ammonia, urea, uric acid, they all are waste material and it has to be eliminated from the body. Just have a look at this. Then we sweat during when it's very hot in the scorching heat, we sweat a lot and that helps us to give out the toxic waste from the body through sweat. And you can see a sweat glands on our skin surface. You can see on the left hand side, these are the sweat gland which has fine pores, and from there we sweat. From the fine pores the sweat is given out, and that is actually the toxic waste in the body goes out of the body as sweat. Just an example. Then in plants and trees, here you can see some residues, solid residues given out. Some trees, they give out rubber or the latex, which is useful to us to make different products. The latex and the rubber, that is actually the plant or the trees which they give out as a waste material from their body. You can just have a look over here. The solid waste, white color waste, you can see those contains calcium, and these are the waste you can see on the leaves of the plant. Some droplets you can see like water droplets, that is again transpiration, and the sap you can see, that is latex or the rubber which is given out by some trees. So that is actually a waste and it can be useful. So we make different product of rubber or latex. Movement. Now next characteristic we are going to learn about movement in living creatures. Animals move from one place to another and also show other body movements as we do. Plants are generally anchored in the soil. They means they are fixed at one place, so they do not move from one place to another. So here you can see the movement in animals but not in plants. Please take down all these points in your notebook. However, various substances like water, minerals and the food synthesized by the plants move from one part to the other. Though plants they themselves do not move, but the food, the water, the nutrients which are being prepared, it has to be transported from the leaves to various parts of the plants, and that transportation movement is seen in plants. Plants also show other kinds of movements like the opening and closing of flower buds. So the opening and closing of the flower buds, we may not notice, but then it happens. They do open and close flower buds. This movement is seen. Then you can see some movements, how differently they move. You have seen in the previous chapter where the animals show different types of body movements. The duck, snake, how they move. Kangaroo have a different types of body movement. Snail, they walk very slowly. Horses, they run very fast. Cockroaches, they walk, they can glide. Fishes, they swim in water. Human beings can walk, can sing, they can dance. They can, the different movements can be shown by the body, by body performance. We can sit, we can walk, we can run. All that movement can be shown by human beings. So these are the various movements shown by living organism, living creatures on earth. Movement due to growth in plants. So plants themselves, they will not move from one place to another, but they do show movements during when they are growing. So how they show movement? Like you can see plants showing movement where they phototropisms. Phototropism is a movement of the plant when they are growing, they move towards the sunlight. So here you can see the movement of the plant. When you keep it at the window, the growth of the plant will be shown towards the sunlight where they will get sunlight. So that is called as phototropism in plants. This kind of growth is seen, and this is the movement when they are growing, and they will move towards, the growth will be seen towards sunlight. That is called as phototropism. Some plant shows hydrotropism, they will show movement towards water. So different types of movement. Chemotropism, some kind of chemicals there will, plants will get attracted and they will show chemotropism, where plants will get attracted to the some kind of chemical substances. So these are the various movements shown by the plants when they are growing. Not actually they are moving their body from one place to another, but the growth shows that particular type of movement. Just have a look. Okay, so now here we come to an end of the session. Some points were discussed to be written in the notebook. I hope you all are writing. It's a gentle reminder, please do maintain your notebook, children. Thank you, children, and have a wonderful day.